What's happening? What's happening? What's good, good people? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the steel basement. Now, I've got to ask for forgiveness from you guys and gals. I got to do something really quick that I forgot to do before I started this here podcast. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing. Let me just capture it really quick. What I need to do, my good, lovely people, man, is I need to very quickly share this show to Twitch. What I'm starting to do, guys, I'm starting a dual stream, and I forgot to set it up correctly on Twitch. So bear with me, guys, just a second.
I think we're going to get this game rolling
God.
very
soon. Twitch is talking right there. My bad, guys. I'm going to do it really quick, but hope everybody's doing well. How's everybody doing tonight so far, man? You know, y'all know who else do it in real time like I do. I don't be caring, man. Y'all my family. Y'all cool with it, right? Give me just a second, guys. It's only going to take a second. Just got to go in here. I've got to change the name of this here broadcast on Twitch. I've got to take, hold on, give me a second. Got to put the right category in there. And then we're going to get started. I promise. I promise, party people. One second. Let's go Steelers, Steeler Nation. Just putting my tags in really quick. All right, so let's do it. Looks like everything is updated. And I'm going to go ahead and start the stream over there as well. So thank you guys for being patient, man. Let me start it really quick. Bada boom, bada bing. And there we are. So like I said, thank you, lovely people, for being patient with me, man. Listen, I'm trying to get my technology game up. Not that I'm not technically sound, but, trying to do some new things, man. I'm going to go ahead and stream in both places. So I am streaming on both Twitch as well as YouTube being the base. But how's everybody doing? Hope everybody is well. Let's say hello to the early commenters and we'll get right to it. James Tresvant. Hello, Lanisha, the lovely Lanisha. Hello, Lanisha. Appreciate you coming through each and every night. Every Tuesday night, you come by and check us out, man. So, fellas, y'all know the routine. Take care of our lovely ladies in the chat. Make sure you say hello and lay out the red carpet. My guy, Mark Cunningham in the building. Crazy Ron Gaming in the building. My guy, Y Digger in the building. Michael Garman in the building. My guy, CT Pittman in the building. And let me just say this really quick, in case some of you guys are offended, because I'm saying my guy to some of these people. I only do that for people that I talk to frequently. That's all. Don't take it personal. All of y'all are family. But some of these people, they follow me in my other chats like Y Diggy, CT Pittman, Mark Cunningham. They follow me when I'm doing stuff that's non-Steeler related. So I'm going to shout them out. But don't take it personal. Steeler Cards in the building. Malvo in the building. The infamous Tim in the building. What's happening, Tim? Daryl Dukes in the building. My good brother Kenyon in the building, of course. Derpy Entertainment. What's happening, brother? Derpy Entertainment. I like that name right there. Who else we got up in here? Leonard Green. And that might be about it. No, hold on. Antoine Hill in the building as well. Man, I see you referencing the NBA. We're not even going to go there with the Sixers, man. Let's just move right on past that. But how's everybody doing, man? Let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to get into tonight, man. One main topic, but it's several things to talk about within the topic. As you can see in the title, I said, Omar Khan. Omar Khan speaks. But what did he say? Omar Khan speaks. But what did he say? And, I'm just being funny in the title. Again, rapper brain, I'm doing that, the dual meaning, if you will. Double entendre, if you will. That title, I'm asking, what did he say? But also, if any of you guys watched the presser the same way I did, we couldn't hear any questions. No questions. I don't know what's going on with the Steelers channel on YouTube. They need to holler at me or something. Like, I believe I can help you with your sound. I mean, I can suggest a microphone that's going to hone right into the person that you're interviewing, regardless of all the other noise around you. I can help y'all with that. Come on, we got to be a little more professional than that, Steelers YouTube. I'm not putting that on the Steelers. I'm putting that on anybody who is doing YouTube for the Steelers that runs that channel. I don't think it's Missy Matthews and Mike Pursuta or none of them, because, when they do their thing on the channel, everything is fine. Bob Labriola. I don't think it's any of them. Craig Wolfley. Because when they do their thing, you can hear them just fine. But I don't know what was going on with the audio. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just give you my comments on some of the things I could pull away from that interview as far as the pieces and components that I could put together based off of his responses. Again, I couldn't hear any questions. So let's start. Let's get to it, man. I'm not going to hold y'all too long tonight. No particular order. Let's talk about a couple of these things. Let's see. Where do I want to begin? One of the lesser topics, and I'll see how you guys feel. So a lot of these things will be questions to you all as well as I give my opinion. One of the things that he talked about, I'm assuming they asked him about Najee Harris, because he did say, Najee had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, did some good things for us. He basically did the GM talk. We like the guy. And he said, he confirmed that re-signing Najee is still an option. Now, I want to get you guys' take on how you feel about re-signing Najee Harris. I'll give you my take, and I'll also take the narrative of what if he's sincere? What if he really does want to get a deal done with Najee Harris? What are a couple of the reasons why? So first, I'll give you my thoughts on it. It's not going to bother me if they re-sign Najee Harris. I know some people feel like, you could do better than Najee. Some people really like Najee. Listen, I've said it all along, man. I have no problem with Najee Harris when we're playing bully ball. When Najee Harris is able to get going. When we're able to successfully block the play as designed, right? Because Najee's not really a creative running back. He's not going to do much if he's met behind the line of scrimmage, and rightfully so. He's not necessarily that guy, right? Najee is a get-going type of guy. Once he has a head of steam, he is a little nimble on his feet for being a heavier guy, but he's more of a power runner, if you will, even power speed, right? He's not a top speed guy, but he's a, a get-going type of guy. Once he gets going, he got a little quick. He can show a little bit of speed, not a burner, but y'all understand what I'm saying. He's a get going, get. He's one of those dudes. He's not one of those. He's not a guy he's at top speed right away. We know that. So again, with him being a heavier style running back, it's going to be a lot harder for Najee to make things happen behind the line of scrimmage. However, when Najee gets going, man, you got to admit Najee Harris, man, gives us a little bit of the Steeler identity, right? I've been watching these old clips. People are always posting clips of the bus, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are. You see these videos always posted of Jerome Bettis, and that was the identity. That was that identity of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, Bettis wasn't a burner, quick on his feet for a bigger guy, but he just ran with that identity. And Najee runs with the Steeler identity. So I would not be upset if they re-sign him, depending on how much it's going to cost. Now, the running back market could be about to take a shift, man, after seeing what Saquon Barkley did. Yeah, not everybody is Saquon, but again, Saquon had a career best, outstanding season and helped his team greatly to get to a Super Bowl. he's about to reset the market, as well as I think guys like what's my man's name? James Cook is asking. I hear it's a report out there. He asking for $16 million. That sounds familiar, don't it? Y'all remember the Le'Veon Bell days? We back to that. We're running backs are asking for $16 million a year. So it all depends on how much we would have to pay Najee, but I'm not opposed to Najee Harris being re-signed, and I'll come to the comments here in a moment to see how you guys feel. Now, let me take a stab at this as to what I think maybe a reason why you may not have picked up the 5th-year option. The obvious reason a lot of people are saying, oh, they don't plan to re-sign him. Maybe. Some people feel like undercover Najee is tired of being a Steeler. Maybe. But let's just play the positive narrative. As a GM, and you expected the cap to be bigger, which, in case y'all have been keeping up, that last time I checked, and again, shout outs to Dave Bryan at Steelers Depot. They said the Steelers, as of today, are sitting at about $60 million in cap after the increase. We got some cap space to work with. And I know that's not factoring in everything, but we got some cap space. So maybe if you're Omar Khan, you knew that was coming. You feel like you could get a deal done as opposed to throwing a franchise tag on him. Maybe that was the plan the whole time. Time will tell. We'll just say that. How much does Najee Harris demand on the market? I'm not sure, because Najee Harris is not Saquon Barkley. He is not Christian McCaffrey. He is not James Cook in that regard, but he's a solid running back. But I wonder, what does he demand? Even though it's a market game, I wonder what type of money he could get. So we'll see. But all in all, I wouldn't be upset with it. I also would not be upset if Najee, was no longer a Steeler. I'm always open to bringing in new talent, especially at the running back position. So again, y'all know my motto. I date the players. I'm married to the team. Just that simple. What y'all got? Let me see what y'all got, man. Let's see. Why Diggy says Najee is a volume runner. Yes, you got to feed him the rock. It like the old cliche. I'm right there with Why Diggy. You got to feed Najee. Feed me Seymour. He's one of those type of running backs. Absolutely. Anything else? McCaffrey got 18 per. Yeah, see, I don't know if Najee gets that. But again, it's a market game. The market dictates what the agent asks for. So James Cook might be able to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 16. He does a lot for that Bills offense. Anything else? Anybody got any other comments on Najee? Excuse me. Oh, Steeler Card says, Mr. 3.9 yards a carry can leave. Yeah. Not married to him, man. I'll give him one of these when he leaves, just like I've given to other Steeler players. What else y'all got? Malvo says, not when he can't move the ball. Okay, I'm not sure if you're referring to Najee. But if you're referring to Najee, you could be referring to something else in the comments. If you're referring to Najee, it doesn't just stop with the running back. That whole offensive line and scheme and structure and play call, all of that, has a hand in that. But, Najee, again, he's not a creative running back. Kenya says Najee is a good running back. He's just not a zone scheme running back. Exactly. And I think we all clearly saw it. Jaylen Warren runs that style, zone blocking, toss play. Some of those plays that Arthur Smith were in love with, I think Jaylen Warren was more productive because, again, his style of running. Jaylen Warren is a one-cut guy. He's going to see it. He's going to hit it. Very decisive. And he has the quickness to get out of trouble and the low center of gravity. Believe it or not, if you watch Jaylen Warren, his stature has helped him gain a lot of yardage, getting underneath guys, getting low to the ground. So there you have it. All right, guys. So moving on to the next topic. Next question. Whole topic still about Omar Khan. What else did he confirm in the presser that was worth talking about? He talked about building the trenches on both sides of the football. Again, we could not hear the questions in the press conference, but you could tell there were times that they kind of asked about the Eagles. And I guess they were kind of asking, how Omar Khan felt about what they did and how they built their team, and, maybe even us having, what's his name? Andy Weidel kind of coming from there. Maybe that's the connection, but, it might have just been a cliche question when you talk about the other PA team that won a Super Bowl and how they did it. And, Omar Khan basically confirmed, like, listen, you definitely got to build the trenches on both sides of the ball. I cannot disagree with that at all. Right? We have to make sure we're putting up and producing a stout offensive lineman. So our offensive line have to be stout in our defensive front. And honestly, man, again, we got outstanding edge rushers, but that interior, Cam Hayward does a lot when he's out there, but we're definitely going to need more. I love Keanu Benton. They asked him a little bit about Keanu Benton as well, but I think you need some more pieces. You need a couple more pieces, because I think the Steelers, man, might be in situations where, depending on who we're facing, we might have to play a little more base. We might have to play a little more base defense where the nose tackle becomes very important. Right? So we've got to be able to get stout, even from a sub package standpoint. You got to be able to put guys in that interior, where Cam and Benton have played. You need a rotation piece in the interior, even from sub package, because a lot of teams also run the ball out of 11 personnel. But yes, the trenches. Matter of fact, I think Howie Roseman said something today as well, where you can never have too many good offensive and defensive linemen. I don't think anybody who understands football could disagree with that. You can never be too deep in those areas. So, yes, Omar Khan, I hope you do follow those instructions, sir. The other thing I wanted to talk about here is he talked about, talked a little bit about Roman Wilson. No surprise about what he said. He did say Roman Wilson would have been ready to go if they needed him in the playoffs. But he talked about Roman Wilson potentially being an impact player in 2025. Do not disagree with that at all. I think a couple things when I hear that. I definitely think that they had plans for Roman Wilson this past season, even as a rookie. And the reason why I'm pointing that out, we know the Steelers a little bit over the years have been slow with rookies, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, right? Remember when we had Martavis Bryant for the first time and how long we took to even get him on the field? We seem to be very slow with offensive players at skill positions. Can't say it so much no more about the offensive line. We had two rookies out there this year. One of them was legit. I know some people are going to say, well, Frazier got the job as well because Herbig went down. No, I think Frazier was going to get the job anyway. McCormick more so benefited from an injury, right? But the Steelers have been a little slow at the skill position offensively, and it's good to hear that. That's number one. Number two, I also feels like this gives us a glimpse into what they're going to do at some point with the draft or free agency. I think they're definitely going to go out and grab another legit, solidified receiver. Whether that's a free agent or if they draft a guy, they're going to go out and draft somebody that can come in and play. And I think couple of ideas. You get a guy that's able to play alongside George Pickens and Roman Wilson. I think they're definitely going to utilize Roman Wilson sometimes in the slot because that's where he did a lot of his damage in college. But also I think you might see Roman Wilson when we run 12 personnel, where it's just George Pickens and the opposite receiver because of his blocking capability. But because they're focusing talk on that receiver, I definitely think they're going to do better than we did this past season and get more depth at the wide receiver position. I mean, ideally, you want it to kind of look like some of these other teams, man. You think about Cincinnati, when Cincinnati was dealing with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and Boyd. That three-man monster, you kind of want something like that. You kind of want to build what I would say a team like Houston has right now. You know, God bless. Hopefully Tank Dell can get himself back. But you think about that. You think about Dell. You think about Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. I mean, you know, and it's another kid that Houston has too that's not so bad. You got to be at least 3 deep, I think, in today's NFL, the way teams like to attack with the air attack. You got to be 3 deep. And yeah, I think the Steelers are going to go try to get that done. But I will say this, man. Listen, we didn't see a whole lot of 11 personnel until later on in the season. Arthur Smith doesn't have me confident that we'll run it more. But I think you got to. I think if Arthur Smith goes back and he evaluates his offense, you've got to be able to stick to what you like, sure. But you got to be able to audible and have a solidified game plan from 11 personnel. And maybe some people will say, well, we didn't really have a solid 3 receiver unit. Maybe not, but go fix that. Got to do that. So those are just my thoughts right there, folks. Let's see what else I got. Patrick Queen. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Omar Khan said that Patrick Queen got better with understanding the defense down the stretch. He said you could clearly see it. You could clearly see his utilization of speed down the stretch of the season, second half of the season. I would agree with that. I think Patrick Queen started getting it going. We saw it later in the season. I'm sure there was a couple things, man, a couple games you guys could be critical of him. But I definitely think he started to get a little more comfortable, and you can see it. Like, there's no denying that there were times in those games, that even in games that we may have lost, there were moments where you clearly saw the speed component of Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson. And you saw, wow, this could be a real tandem, man. If let them work again, get back in there next year, they could be something special, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think Patrick Queen is the sole controller out there. You know, he's not the field general on defense like Roquan Smith was, right? And when they were paired together, and even how Roquan is now. Patrick Queen might not quite be that, but he don't necessarily have to be that. He could be somewhat that with his speed, and then you have the other speedster and Peyton Wilson, and allow Peyton Wilson to get himself together and absorb that first season and come back understanding more, because both of those dudes, they definitely have the ability to cover up a lot of holes in that defense, screen game, middle of the field game. So I like that. But what do you guys think? Do you think Patrick Queen started to get going down the stretch? I know I'm asking Steeler Nation, and I know how we do each and every week. We throwing some player under the bus and we calling them trash. And but if you really had to assess it, do you think he started to get better as the season went on? Let me see what you guys got. Daryl Duke says he was better, but he will be even better in year 2. I think so. I don't know if you're talking about, I think you're talking about Queen. Yeah, I think he'll be better. I think he'll be better with us in the second season. What else y'all got? Kenya says Queen will be great in 25. That's high praise right there, but I don't think I disagree with Kenya. Listen, man, I think Patrick Queen, I started seeing flashes. You know, it's similar to, and I always refer to things that I know. It's similar to what I'm telling my son. You know, even if he's just 11, I'm telling him, when you practice fast, right? I have him do everything at game speed. I emphasize that. Even when you're in the garage dribbling and you're doing your crossover, you're doing your behind your back, you're doing your first step, game speed, because when you do everything at game speed, here's 2 things. You don't have to get ready to be fast. It's automatically there because you repped it. But also, everything else starts to slow down for you. Because now you just reacted, right? Talking about basketball terms. Now my son know he got his handle. Still got stuff to work on. Of course, he's 11, but now as his season went on, I started seeing him, cross, in game. And it's the same thing I would say about Patrick Queen. You can see as it went on, now he's playing fast and free. He's reacting. He knows where he needs to be. So I like what Kenyon is saying right there. Kenyon putting a bold take out there. He's saying that Patrick Queen will be great in 25. We shall see. But I think he has the ability, man. I think he has the ability. We'll see. What else y'all got? Let me get a couple more. Yes, Tim, I cannot deny that the communicating on the back half was embarrassing. Absolutely. And I'll read Y Diggy's and I'll read Mark's. Y Diggy says, I thought Queen got better at the end of the season, but like a lot of the defense, tailed off at the end. Absolutely did, man. We just fell apart. And he says, Mark Cunningham says he balled out that first Raven game. I was there. Yeah, he did. You are correct. He absolutely played his butt off in that first Ravens game. He was hyped up. He played very well. Okay, one more. CT Pittman says Queen played injured and sick. He will be fine. I'm looking at Peyton Wilson to make a leap too. Absolutely. If we could get those contributions, man, I think that covers up a lot of the woes that we saw, particularly down the stretch, because these guys are going to have to be the back end, to the line, hence the name, linebackers. That front end is going to have to absorb all of the contact and let those boys run free and make tackles. And we should be fine. Let's see what else we got. A couple more. Roman Wilson. He confirmed. Omar Khan confirmed that Broderick Jones will start off at left tackle heading into the offseason. How do we feel? He said it himself. He said that's where he played in Georgia, and he played it well. He said it himself. Now, I want to give Omar Khan a little bit of credit here. When they asked him about Broderick Jones last season, I'm not talking about 24, I'm talking about 2023. He said then the plan is to eventually move Broderick Jones to left tackle. It has only taken him 2 seasons to do it. Rookie season down, second season down, and here they're moving on. So maybe the whole plan all along was we're going to let Dan Moore play his contract out while we allow Broderick Jones to get his feet wet, just playing in-game, even though he wasn't at left tackle, just getting those in-game reps. And then when it's time for Dan Moore to be a free agent, we're going to move my man over here to left tackle, and we're going to put Troy Fautanu at right tackle. Because we already saw Fautanu was beating Broderick Jones out at right tackle. And clearly you draft 2 tackles in the first round in back-to-back drafts. So I want to give Omar Khan a quick round of applause. I'm going to give you a round of applause, Omar Khan, because you stick it to your word, man. I like that. It's something we're not accustomed to seeing as far as moving players and openly saying what your plans are, and you did it pretty much exactly what you said. Now we going to see. Like I said, let the young boys cook, man. Listen, if you're going to rebuild, you got to let them rebuild. And either Broderick Jones will get it together. I see a couple of you guys saying no more excuses. He's either going to do it or he's not. But the Steelers have to try. We got to stop putting Band-Aids on. We have to try something new. And I like the infusion of youth that's going to be on the offensive line. Because, again, it's reported that the Steelers are going to allow James Daniels to walk as well. So that means, McCormick will be the guy. But that means also the Steelers might be looking to add offensive linemen and or draft for depth. So we shall see. What do y'all think about Broderick Jones? Let me see what y'all got. What y'all got? Steeler Car said, only took until year 3. Yeah, man. But, usually they be slow to pull them triggers, man. Absolutely, Kenyon. It's another topic, but you're right. He says if Cole is healthy, I'm bringing him back. Yeah. I still like Cole Holcomb, man. CT Pittman says, I feel like Broderick had no excuses after Omar solidified him at LT. Yeah, he has no more excuses. You absolutely correct. What's up, Brent? The infamous Tim says, oh, wow, we're putting our first-round draft pick that we traded up for at his natural position. This is groundbreaking progress for the Steelers. Tell me about it, man. Who else? Okay, Malvo, you and somebody are having some discourse. Okay. And the last one, Broderick Jones here from Kenya. He says, Broderick is the youngest member on the O-line. He is a puppy. Let him eat his dog food and grow. I'm with you. Brent says, very worried if we couldn't be consistent with help. I'm concerned about his performance without help. I think you said that before, Brent, but I will say this. Let's just see, man. You know, his natural position is left tackle, and it's funny because Omar Khan even said that in the presser. He said, you know, that's where he played and played well at Georgia. He's almost basically telling us, yeah, I know he wasn't at his natural position. And listen, I know some people will say the two tackle spots are not that different, but you couldn't be more wrong if you think that they have different responsibilities. And again, some supreme athletes are able to play either side. But we've also seen stud players that are just good at their natural position. It's, you know, the kick step is different. You know, the things that you got to deal with is kind of different in terms of the type of pass rush sometimes, and because it's the blind side in most cases. So I'm willing to see, man, if Broderick Jones can be what he was drafted to be. But you're not wrong, Brent, in having a concern, and not wrong at all. Not wrong at all. So we shall see. All right, only a few more things, man. And this show is not going to be long, so if anybody was planning on Wonder Bread, you better get to giving it. If not, hey, I appreciate y'all either way, but I always like to let y'all know the pace of the show. I'm not going to be much longer. What else we got? Couple more things. I think I covered most of them. All right, so the last one, man, is Omar confirms what we already know, what we heard from Mike Tomlin, what we heard from Art Rooney II, AR2. They plan to sign either Fields or Wilson. Omar Khan went on to say, but hey, at the moment, neither one of them are under contract, so all options are on the table. Now, that's an obvious statement, but it does make me wonder what happens. Have you guys thought about what happens? What does the Steelers do if they are unable to sign Russell Wilson or Justin Fields? What do you think they do in that instance? Because I already feel like the potential to draft a quarterback later on could happen if you sign one of these guys back. You know, just so you could get a cheap backup and potentially a guy that might turn out to be something for you down the road. I think that's what you do. Very similar to what they did with Mason Rudolph. Now, some people would feel like, well, that probably really wasn't Ben's successor, but I thought it was, in my opinion, wasn't a bad idea. Maybe we might have needed another position at the moment, and that's what Ben was harping on, but maybe not a bad idea at that moment to, you know, bring in a third-round guy, let him learn the system, let him be your backup, and then, you know, depending on what your aging quarterback is doing, you know, maybe he turns into something. So it would not be a bad idea, in my opinion, if the Steelers do sign Justin Fields or Russell Wilson in either case, and you draft the guy as well. Maybe in the later rounds. You know, you're probably not taking one of those guys higher if you just paid a guy, but, you know, in the later rounds, or fourth or fifth, or somebody that might slip and fall. I don't have a problem with that, guys, because right now we don't have quarterbacks under contract. So we're going to need at least 3 of them anyway. But let me answer my man, Brent Fox, man. I appreciate you. Wow, round of applause, man. For 40 months has been an extended family member. He says, hey, Sim, you already talked about possible running back draft picks. I'd like to pick up Devin Neal. Okay. Not mad at that. And I haven't talked about prospective draft picks yet because I'm sure once Kenyon and I get to talking, and I'm saying it right now, let's plan to do that after the combine because me and Kenyon talked yesterday, via text, like, yeah, it's combine season. It's about the time for him to get in his bag. So I definitely want to hear from Kenyon as well. Running back prospects, because I'm not looking for a first round running back at this stage. I think there's so many running backs that you can get in later rounds and produce. I don't think that Arthur Smith's offense is complicated. So I think you could find a plug and play type of guy that fits the scheme. So you can go get in the running back later on, man. 3rd, 4th, 5th even. You know what I mean? So not really looking at not really right now looking at any running backs early. So I would have to really do my research and say, all right, who do I think will be around later rounds? Like I said, anything 3rd or higher or later. And out of those guys, who do I like? So I got to do my research. Now there's an interesting tidbit, guys. Ben Roethlisberger thinks the Steelers should keep Russell Wilson going forward. Let me just say this, man. It's going to be very similar to what I said last week. This is not a disrespect to Russell Wilson whatsoever. But guys, fans, for any of you guys who want to retain Russell Wilson, listen. Russell Wilson started the season at 36 years of age. Russell Wilson will become 37 years of age during the season. Same thing with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is already 37. I want us fans and Steelers organization to get out of that whole Band-Aid, let's just plug the hole right now and see if we can win it. No. It would be nice to do that, but I don't think either one of those quarterbacks do that because there's other things that have to go right. Judging off of the offensive scheme and approach that Arthur Smith put on display last season, you're going to need more than a Russell Wilson. You're going to need a quarterback that not only is mobile, because Russell showed some mobility, but you're going to need a guy that could be a part of the run game. Because anytime you run the football the way that Arthur Smith did, you're going to have to mix in some variables like we did early in the season when Justin Fields went 4-2. Justin Fields was utilized in zone reads and read options. We might have even ran a speed option one time with him. I don't quite remember, but I think I saw it. I know they did it in training camp. That's how that's going to work in an Arthur Smith style offense. I don't want us getting into a situation where we just have the in the pocket quarterback that's just going to take the deep shot down the field from time to time. We all know that both Russell and a guy like Matt Stafford will take shots down the field. Cool. But I don't want that offense. I don't want it to only be big play outside the numbers, 50-50. No. And if you're going to do that, I need a quarterback that we can implement into the run game. Because I think it was too easy for teams to sit on what the Steelers were going to do. And it stagnated our offense once that film really got out there. No. And here's my second opinion on that. Stop being so conservative and trying to, let's just go with this guy for now. Stop taking that approach. Go with the youth. Whether that's a guy on your roster and a Justin Fields that you think you can develop, or drafting a guy. But what we can't do is just sit around and just keep bringing these older guys into the fold, man. No disrespect. Round of applause to my man, CT Pittman. I appreciate the donation, my brother. That Wonder Bread. He says, I want a QB that can grow together with the O-line. Not playing that well, not a plug in. What do you say? Not a plug. Okay, not a plug that'll only be around for a few years and we back to square one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. We have to do it, guys. Like, we have to. We have to, as Steelers fans, we got to accept it. And if that means that the Steelers are not going to be that good of a team, you know, I'm talking like maybe a losing season somewhere in there. I don't know. I don't want that. But we've got to be willing for the Steelers to go and find or go and develop the franchise quarterback for the future. For the foreseeable future. Not a 2-year deal here. Not a 3-year deal there. No. Somebody that you expect that will be, you hope would be under center for the next 10 years. And even if that's Justin Fields, who will be 26 years this year, Justin Fields, like, you can legitimately say that the guy could probably give you a solid 6 or 7 years. And that, you know, that's without stretching it beyond that. I'm saying you probably know you could get that if he develops. And of course, if you go and draft a guy that turns into your franchise QB, you know how long you're keeping him. And all of it is hit or miss. But we got to be willing to roll the dice. It's all hit or miss, but we have to be willing to roll the dice and go get a guy. We have to be actively looking and taking chances like they did with Ben Roethlisberger, even though Roethlisberger was going to be the future, had homeboy, never got hurt. But still, the caliber of QB that he was, first round pick, you got to do that, or you got to stick with youth that you have on your team right now who gave you a 4-2 record, who you can at least take a shot to see if you can develop him. So, and even if you want to give Justin Fields a 2-year deal with decent money as a trial, I'm cool with that because he's still young. What I don't want to see is the quick plug-in, the Band-Aid patch on a 36, 37, 38-year-old QB. No. N-O spells no. So, those are my thoughts, guys, and that's really all I got tonight, man. Let's see, what kind of time we got? 43 minutes, we ain't do half bad. Let's see what y'all got, man. I'll spend a couple minutes in here and see what y'all got. Let me see if anybody's watching on Twitch. Told you guys I'm doing the dual stream. I don't know if anybody's watching. Nope, nobody's watching, so nobody knows me over there, but I'm going to try to build that crowd up, that audience as well. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to take things to the next level, man. I'm trying to expand. I've been toying with the idea or the notion of potentially doing some stuff on Patreon, and trying to figure out how that would work. You know, whether you all will travel with me, or maybe I have a segment over there that's a paid situation and still maybe upload to here at a later. I don't know. We'll figure it out, guys. But I'm just being 100% honest with you guys, my fan base. I hate to call you fans, my family base. You know, I do this because I love it, but also, you know, anything that you're doing that is actual work should be compensated for it. So we'll figure it out. Well, what y'all got, man? Still a card says Fields will get a 2-year deal. If he doesn't improve, we will draft a QB in 26. It's not complicated. I'm with you, Still a cards. I mean, look, I'm gonna play on your name there. Put the cards on the table, man. It's just that simple. That's the quickest solution. Get the deal done. Give him some money. He knows he's not going to make top dollar. Give him a fair 2-year deal and rock out. You win the job, you win the job. If not, we go looking for a QB in next year's draft. Malvo says, it's a fair assessment because, again, he didn't do enough with us this season to take the spot. I've been watching Justin since Ohio State. Okay, I think you're having a convo with somebody else, so I think maybe you're arguing against or you're debating against Justin Fields, which is fine. But I didn't see the full thread, so I don't know what that reply is to. CT Pittman says, it's called development, capital letters. Fields hasn't truly had a fair shot to develop. That may be fair to say. Ali, what's going on, Ali? Good to see you, man. Ali says, Kenyon, don't say that during Black History Month. I don't know what y'all talking about. I be missing some of the conversation going on. Leonard Green says, Tomlin is devoted to his VA brethren, Mr. Unlimited. I ain't mad at nobody being, devoted to their VA brethren. Come on, man. 2 up, 2 down, baby. Y'all know what it is. But, and YouTube, that's not a gang sign. I know y'all are touchy. That's VA. 2 up, 2 down. Well-known phrase in VA. From Richmond on out to the Tidewater area, Virginia Beach, all of that. Come on, man. Don't do that. YouTube is funny now. What else y'all got? I would too, Antoine. I would keep Justin, just see what he does, man. I mean, listen, honestly, guys, after we look at the season, I don't think we could say either one of these guys are the savior. And that's the funny argument that I'm seeing from some of Steeler Nation. Some people are so gung-ho on Fields, and some are so gung-ho on Wilson. And I'm like, okay, both of them play well in spots, right? And I'm kind of reviewing them equally, if you will. Justin had a winning record. Russell Wilson came in there and had a winning record. And that record got really small, right? However, you look at the things that both of them did. Justin Fields will need to develop a little bit with his accuracy, not with throwing the ball. The boy has a cannon. We even saw some throws that he made in the season that was beautiful, but then we had some inconsistencies with accuracy. So he'll have to improve his accuracy, maybe improve his decision-making from time to time, right? Again, that's development. But where he helped us was with those legs, sheer size, being able to stand in the pocket and bounce out and move quickly if he needed to, being a part of the running game, being an actual option in the zone read. And then you have Russell Wilson. Accuracy showed up. Does what he always does. Moon ball, beautiful. Taking them deep shots outside, down the middle of the, outside the numbers. But we saw where he was compromised. If he has to stand in the pocket like this, oh boy, it was not good. Russell Wilson is always better on the move. That's where he made his hay in Seattle. Couldn't really stand in the pocket. It was times when even Justin Fields would hang in the pocket. And there was not much we could do with Russell's legs. Russell showed mobility, got out of some jams when he needed to, but he wasn't a part of the run game. So I say that to say neither one of them were world beaters. So if we're going to give one of them a chance and we're committed to that, I'm going to go with the youth and I'm going to go with the guy with the highest ceiling. Justin Fields still has potential to grow. He either going to go to his ceiling or he's going to hit his floor. I'm just saying, I'd rather take a chance on that guy if I'm only going to do a few-year deal anyway for either one of them, and then you go looking in the draft for your potential future. That's what I would do. What y'all got? What else y'all got? Let me see. Walter Worthy said, Fields throws frozen ropes, but sometimes you need an air under the ball. Yeah. If he learns that, then look out. Yes, absolutely. Definitely, I do feel like some of, Fields' throws were a bit flat. I absolutely agree with that. Daryl Duke says, Fields is Cordell Stewart all over again. That's an interesting comparison there. I see where you're going with that. I mean, Malvo, it's just terminology, man. It's just terminology. You saying what ceiling? It's just terminology. And I say that to say this. Oh, knocked my water over. Luckily, it was in my Stanley. I say that to say this, man. Our conversations with each other in here don't always have to be so combative. You don't have to say what ceiling. It's just terminology. I'm just saying that I believe that Phil still has an upside. Do I know he has one? No, I don't. But you seem to feel that there's no upside. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to debate. So that's what I'm saying. This is a family environment. We don't always have to talk at each other like we're feuding. I'm talking about the entire chat. So like to say that comment, he's at his ceiling. I mean, I don't know that. My personal opinion. If you believe so, I respect that. Let's see what else y'all got. Cordell, and brother, please don't say things like don't take it to heart. Sir, I'm not. I'm not. What else y'all saying? Cordell could not pass. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's an interesting comparison. I don't think he's Slash. That reminded me of an old Jay-Z line. How clever he used Cordell Stewart. Some of y'all hip-hop fans might know what song it was when he was like, rapper slashes Zach Cordell Stewart, the flow all y'all using his mind. I wonder if y'all know what song that is, but it just made me think. See, I told you, I'm always in rapper brain. Music is always playing in my head, but it was very clever how he used rapper / exec Cordell Stewart. That was dope. Oh, Antoine, my bad. Another loyal extended family member. Let's give him a round of applause so I can read his comment. He says his accuracy improved every game. What killed Justin were the O-line penalties. That kills momentum. Why everyone ain't bringing that up? That's a good point. And I think we do that a lot as fans, man. I think we do that a lot as fans. Right? I think a lot of times we give opinions on people in a vacuum. And we don't look at the totality of the situation. You know what I mean? So I couldn't agree more with Antoine on that one, man. I definitely think that Justin was improving again, man. I go back to that throw he made down that sideline that got called back. That was on the run. You running to your right and you sling it down the sideline, and that thing was so accurate. I think about the quick pass, quick strike to Calvin Austin in the middle of the field. I mean, that was on a rope. But like somebody else said earlier, Justin is going to have to learn how to get a little more touch on that pass in certain situations. But like that one, you can't say that the kid can't throw it, and you can't say that he doesn't show accuracy. And I think he did improve, but he has room to grow it. And that's all I'm saying in a nutshell. I'm willing to give him an opportunity to see what he can be, because right now the Steelers don't have an answer. If we're being honest, and again, I'm just giving my opinion. Some of you guys might disagree. The Steelers do not have a legit answer today. Not even going into the draft, because we're not drafting at a point where we're going to get the projected best quarterbacks. So we're speaking, I'm speaking from a standpoint of we don't have a bona fide answer. We don't. We talking Fields or Wilson and perhaps a draft pick at some point in the draft. Or a veteran, which we know the veteran free agents who they are. You see what I'm saying? So when I talk about giving Fields a chance, I'm looking at it from that perspective. Given the situation that the Steelers are in, to me, that's the better risk of the two. See what you can get out, young boy. Y'all remember when, again, do not take this. Let me get close because sometimes y'all like to twist words. Do not take this as a direct comparison. But do y'all remember all of the years that we talked about how inaccurate Lamar Jackson was? And how long it took him to get to kind of where he's at now? That's all I'm saying. I'm not even that upset if we have a Lamar Jackson-esque Justin Fields of Lamar's early career days. And we just a running team. And every now and then we'll hit you with a pat and we're winning like that. I'm cool with that. Because we have a team in our division that was able to do that. Now, they didn't get a Super Bowl. I'm just saying, I'm cool with allowing that kid to develop while you can get him cheaper than the rest. While knowing you still got to go into the draft one of these years anyway. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Wonder Bread, man, appreciate that. Hello, Miss AKA Baby Steeler, Miss Angie, appreciate the Wonder Bread. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hello. She just says, hey, Sam, the Steeler fam, roll with Fields. Yeah, I mean, but like I said, guys, we are all welcome to disagree. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, and I love the conversation. I love the debate that we all have in the chat. All I would ask that, for some, this doesn't apply to everybody. We don't have to be so aggressive in our opinions. These are just opinions. These are healthy debates. None of us have the answer, right? None of us have the crystal ball to know what's absolutely going to work. But I think a lot of us have passion and we give our opinion based off of what we prefer. But again, when I try to stay away from myself, I try not to speak in absolutes like I know this for a fact. And I see that happen sometimes in the chat where some of you guys y'all speak like it's a definite and you don't have the answer. We don't know that Justin Fields can't improve. We don't know that Justin Fields will improve. We don't know if Russell Wilson is going to be signed. We don't know if Russell Wilson will fall off the cliff. We don't know any of that. We can give opinions, but we don't know. So that's all I'm saying. Don't be so aggressive, guys, when you get into your debates, man. Just have friendly debates. Nothing wrong with that. The Slant Football says, I think the Steelers should look into Joe Milton if they want something different at QB. Okay. And see, honestly, guys, I'm open to anything at this point because it almost feels like we're back to the Kenny Pickett days. What I mean by that is where we're forced to find something to work. And we're either going to go with the young guy or we're going to bring in the old veteran. And it's kind of like we have both now that were on the roster. Both of them are free agents. So that ain't going to happen again. So they're either going to sign the younger guy and go get another veteran to back him up, or they're going to keep the veteran and then go get, veteran, when I say that, I'm talking about 13-year Russell Wilson. Keep him and then go get a young guy. So it's almost like the Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett situation all over again. And at this point, man, the Steelers just do something, but don't do the norm. Don't do the Band-Aid fix of grabbing the older guy and thinking he's going to take you to the promised land, because it's a long shot and you want to build for the future. All right, what y'all got going on now? I see a couple of y'all going back to back. Okay, Malvo and Juice, you guys are debating about O-line. He says Russell Wilson is washed. Go kiss baby and give hugs somewhere else. Yeah, y'all crazy, man. I did see that floating around as well. Just an article saying go get Trey Lance. Fields is Kenny Pickett 2.0 and Trey Lance. Yeah, I saw that narrative, man. I saw a report, a rumor or something saying, the Steelers could go get Trey Lance if they want to get somebody similar to Justin Fields. And I'm like, some of these rumors and articles be hilarious to me, man. Kenya says Milton was inconsistent and inaccurate at Tennessee. He played good in a meaningless game, and some think he's good. He has the same issues he had in college. Okay. Yeah, I don't know so much about Milton. I've watched him, of course, but I couldn't assess him. I haven't watched him intently like that. Joe Manick says Lance is done. Yeah, it's just funny, man. Anytime teams are in need for a quarterback, you say the Steelers a lot because that's the team we follow. It's funny to see all of these names that they pull out of the hat. It's just hilarious to me, man. It's so hilarious. So hilarious. Aaron Rodgers, guys, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man. And I'm gonna go out on the limb and say this. I'm gonna root for the team regardless. But if Aaron Rodgers ends up being a Pittsburgh Steeler, I am not going to be happy. I don't care that it's Aaron Rodgers. I don't care that if Aaron Rodgers comes back and he looks like a 25-year-old Aaron Rodgers. I don't want that. I want the Steelers to get out of that mentality of just Band-Aid fixes. I understand. We want to still be the talk of the town and we want to keep the winning streak alive and all that. I get it, but you have to go rebuild. Some would say you tried it with Kenny Pickett, but the truth was you had no choice in that situation because the Steelers organization fumbled the bag in how they handled the succession plan for Ben Roethlisberger. Point blank. How they handled that. How long we kept Ben Roethlisberger, no disrespect, and how we fumbled the succession plan. Kind of let Ben spook you out of drafting a guy or taking a shot at drafting a guy because he was upset when we drafted Mason Rudolph. So I'm sure you was on pins and needles the rest of them drafts because you don't want to upset Big Ben again. So you're going to have to do what these other teams have done. The good teams, the playoff teams, with the exception of Jared Goff. But again, Jared Goff was another guy that was drafted and traded, and now he's still young and he's winning. You're going to have to go follow that formula of the Kansas City Chiefs, of the Bills, of the Ravens, of the Texans, of the Packers, and on and on and on. Young quarterbacks that have become franchise guys of the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. Again, I understand draft position, but I'm saying mentality-wise, it's time for the Steelers to approach it like that instead of taking the approach of, let's go get this guy. I know he's 37 years old, but we have him for a year or two, and maybe we can win. No. And I get it. Even if you don't think the quarterback class is strong, I get it. Then still, go with the younger guy for now for a couple years. It buys you some time. Don't sign these 35 and older. No Aaron Rodgers. No Kirk Cousins. No Matthew Stafford. And I love Matthew Stafford. I've always been a fan of Matthew Stafford. I have never been more happy for a player than I was with Matthew Stafford when he won his Super Bowl. Because that is a guy who I always thought had uber talent arm talent was ridiculous, and he was just stuck in Detroit. So I was ecstatic for him. I loved Aaron Donald as a player. I was happy for those boys when they won the Super Bowl. Super happy for Matthew Stafford. Always been a fan of his. But I don't want him playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers at 37. I'm sorry. Because it just keeps the same mentality going. There's no long-term deal with a 37-year-old quarterback. I don't know. But hey, I digress. I think that about wraps it up, man. What else y'all got? Anybody else got anything else worth talking about? Juice says, these same fans crying for A-Rod will be very disappointed. We ain't running a nursing home in Pittsburgh. Absolutely not. Now, I still love what old boy said. Who I'm talking about, man? What's his name? Why can't I call his name right now? The safety. Y'all know who I'm talking about, man. Number 25. What's his name? Why do I don't remember my boy's name, man? Deshaun Elliott. I love what he said about Aaron Rodgers openly too. I love Elliott, man. I love Elliott, dog. Again, it reminds me of me. Like, I speak my mind. You know what I mean? And I'm not afraid to do it. I love that he's just him. I love it. Even when I caught a clip of him on Humphrey's podcast, with how him and Humphreys was going at it back to. I love that. I love that. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. And some people say, oh, you shouldn't say that. Why? He's just being human. He's just taking a shot like, dog, we don't want that old dude over here, man. Go ahead with that. I ain't mad at it, dog. Loved it. And he's a baller. Absolutely, Walter. And he's a baller. But all right, guys. I'm going to get out of here, man. Y'all know the routine, man. Listen, if you haven't already, you like the content, you like what you saw here tonight, hit the like button. Show your love by doing that. Subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on your notifications. But again, hit the like button, guys. The like button is one of the most important things you could do for support. Even better than Wonder Bread. Because likes push you in front of more people to view it. Helps the visibility. Other than that, guys, y'all know the routine as well, man. I'm going to ask you guys, stay healthy. Stay safe. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in, and I shall catch you in the next one.